Welcome. On behalf of Team 16 or Team Beta Con, we would like to present to you our project for the theme of traffic in Wexford and Camden Street Lower in Dublin. So the site that we have been assigned is a vibrant and exciting area. It has small shops, bars, clubs. It has a wide diversity of users. It's also a major commuter route in and out of the city, so people coming in from the suburbs to the south usually take this route to get to the city core to the north. And this road only has 2 lanes in either direction with narrow sidewalks and a very fragmented bike lane up and down. Some of the challenges that we need to address are that it is a throughway, so I said it's a commuter route. It has a poor management of traffic. A lot of the different users, transit, vehicular, pedestrian, and cyclists are not accommodating of each other. There's a concern for safety of all the types of users, and there's a lot of abandoned, unused areas around the site. So you can go back to the map, you can see just off to the sides of Main Street, there's a series of laneways that are largely misused. So some of the objectives that we would like to address are to manage the congestion that the street experiences, to provide other route options. We want to make a clear path for all the users and make them all feel safe and accommodated. And we also want to make use of these existing areas around the major street. And to do that, we have created the concept of double laneways.
All right, so double laneways is an effective, immediate solution to manage congestion on Camden Street Lower and Wexford Street. In long term, it will revitalize laneways, bring life to less used parts of the city, and stimulate the local economy. So basically, our concept for double laneways is it will be successful through its users, laneway network, and its digital platform.
Here's some examples of the successful features that we have. Rise road separators and road finders in Australia. And restaurants, smaller scale business and graffiti artists in Melbourne and Sydney. And here's a map of the major street that we have. And here's the possible laneways in the South Dublin.
This is a systems map of how double laneways would work. So we start off with the user, and the user enters the double laneways system, and they can use the app or the website, and the blue lines indicate the digital platform of our system. So they can enter through the app or the website that will tell them what routes they can take, or they can enter through the info board and the on-site markers, which are the physical aspects of our system, which are represented on the street. Through any of these 4 channels, they can access the laneway network, which starts off on our study site and can, in the future, encompass all of Dublin. From there, on the technological scale, the laneway network will automatically collect user data, so the popular routes, the most used modes of transport, and also will collect user-submitted routes, so people can favorite their routes and submit it back into the double laneway system to contribute back to the digital platform.
So to continue on with that, here we have the mobile app that complements the laneway network. So you have this on your smartphone and you want to go through the city. So you would choose your mode of transportation that you want to transport, and it would be cycling, walking, or using the bus. And you would choose that, or you'd go look at the popular routes that people have already submitted. So you'd submit it, and then you'd enter where you're coming from and where you want to go. And then you would be shown a map with an outline route of point A to B of where you're coming from and where you're going to. It also shows you the amount of speed it would take, and if you're taking a bus, it's showing you how many times you need to transfer, as well as how much it would cost, and if it's safe, if it's good. You could also favorite this app or submit it. This is a screenshot of the website homepage. So essentially it does the same thing as the app would, but you can access it at home like you would when you check the weather during the day. You can check the traffic.
So these are our information boards. So they're located near the Dublin bikes and nearby bus stops. So when the user gets off, they can just go and interact with the board. And these are our on-site markers at the entrance of each lane. So we have an awareness campaign. 3 months before the launch of the Dublins, we have poster campaigns, TV commercials, everything to get aware. 2 months before the launch, we'll have illusion paintings in the laneways. So when users walk by the laneways, it'll look like there are actually people inhabiting the laneways. So it'll spark their encyclopedic impulse to research about this campaign. And 1 month to go, we'll have more of a reveal of the campaign, and then there will be a launch date, and people can go there. And this is the poster for our awareness campaign.
All right, so for our phasing timeline for this project, this can basically be applied to each individual lane or certain areas. And basically, it's a 10-year plan from the laneway's current state to it being fully revitalized network. And so as you can see, if you want to go back, that's an example of how the current state of the laneways, you know, with people have parked cars in them and there's no really big use with them. And next, there's year one, which would basically show steady pedestrian and cyclist traffic in the laneways. And once it's shown that it's successful, the Dublin City Council can perhaps they can provide grants and tax incentives to promote business growth. And then after about 10 years, we feel it would be a fully revitalized laneway with potential cafes, restaurants, and shops with lots of heavy pedestrian use. And by 10 years, all these laneways would be an extensive network through the city.
All right, so I'm going to run through some users for you guys. So the first user. So Bobo has an idea to regulate and decongest traffic in central Dublin, and he scheduled a meeting with Ruth, a Dublin City Council member for Innovation Studio, to pitch his solution. Ruth loved the idea and gathered the financial, environmental, and engineering, and cultural, recreation, and amenities departments to help fund this and make his solution a reality, starting with Pleasance Place and Grantham's Place laneways. Second user, Jeremy. Jeremy works in Dublin Council on Wood Quay and finished work. However, he dreads going home the usual route because it would take so long. Jeremy remembers an advertisement on the bus for Dublin Ways and downloads it. The app allowed Jeremy to input his mode of transportation, which was cycling, and his destination. And Jeremy was directed to the nearest Dublin Bikes location, and as well as a speedy way home. All right, user 2, Deirdre. Deirdre is a Dublin City Council member, and when she got off the bus and noticed a Dublin interactive board just 4 meters from her bus stop, and she's never really immersed herself, even though she's heard of the Dublin Way systems, so she decided to go up to the map. After she goes up to the map, within seconds she was directed to the nearest Dublin Way system and a quick alternative route home. 7 years after Deirdre immersed herself in the Dublin Way system, she has witnessed the Dublin Ways go from a small alternative of main roads to a cultural phenomenon crawling with life, cyclists, pedestrians, and a home to a variety of restaurants, bars, and cafes.
So our project is an example of crowdsourcing because it automatically collects user data as users use our digital platform. It has user-submitted routes where users can favorite routes or submit their own. It's community expression in this space where, as the laneway is developed, people can contribute to the art that's displayed there or the businesses that open there. And this also creates a sense of ownership. The community works together to revitalize the laneway, and the DCC is only the catalyst. So they provide the digital platform, and they also provide the financial incentive to open business, but from there, it's really the community that brings this idea to life. So we're going to go through a quick video of a walkthrough of what the laneway will look like a year after initial implementation. Our idea will manage traffic, both cyclist and pedestrian, will promote alternate use in the city, and it will make Dubliners more aware of a largely unused and neglected part of their city, which is really important considering the small size and the density of Dublin. And our next video will take you through the same laneway 10 years after and how it can look in the long term. And the benefits of this is that it diversifies users' mode of transport, which creates both health benefits and manages traffic better. It brings life to the laneways and also the communities that surround them, and it stimulates the local economy. So, our project is implementable both in Dublin and in Toronto. Our match site of Cabbagetown is very similar to Wexford and Lower Canton in that it also Parliament Street is also a major route in and out of the city, being bordered by highways, and it has small shops and a lot of residents surrounding the area. So we feel that Dublin Ways is implementable in Toronto as well as any other cities around the world that have congestion problems and misused space. Thank you.